For those that have not heard, um, the Bibas family, in addition to another person, was released today. Unfortunately, they came out in body bags. It's a very tragic, very sad day for the Jewish people, not just in Israel, but across the world. And it should be equally sad for all people of all civilized nations, civilized people across the world, to see something as horrid as the barbarism and the savagery displayed by Hamas and the so-called Palestinians. And I always use that word so-called. I'm going to open up tonight by Baila. Would you please give us a roundup? Talk about this. I know this is a very difficult one.
It's been horrible. So here's what's been going on. So as we know, the bodies were released. They were supposed to release Shiri Bibas, Kfir, and you know what? I am so broken up with this that I have a blank with a name.
Well, the two little boys.
The two little boys.
Ariel and Kfir.
This is just this is shaking me up incredibly. So what happened was they were going to identify the bodies, and after completing the identification process by the National Center for Forensic Medicine, and they did that in cooperation with the Israeli police, it just came out this evening that IDF representatives informed the Bibas family that their loved ones, Ariel and Kfir Bibas, a blessed memory, have been identified. According to their assessment, and these are professional authorities, and in accordance with the intelligence available to us and the forensic findings, these two little boys were brutally murdered in captivity. And it happened, according to what they say, in November 2023, which is about a month after they were captured. During the identification process, it was found that the additional body, was supposed to be Shiri Bibas, but it turns out it wasn't. They have no clue who that woman is. Not only that, but no match was found for any other abductees. The body is not Shiri. Okay, the two little boys were identified, and they were identified to have been murdered in a brutal manner. But the other body of the woman is not Shiri. We don't know who she is. Nobody knows who she is. It's an anonymous body without identification. This is a serious violation by Hamas terrorist organization, which was required by the agreement to return 4 dead abductees.
Well, Baila,
it is to be demanded that Hamas return Shiri home along with the other abductees. Who is that body? Where is Shiri? If she's alive and if she's still a hostage, where is she? How did they put a different body? Question is, did they do this on purpose? That's the question. Did they do this on purpose? And if they did they not think that forensics was going to try to identify the body? This makes no sense. I'm telling you, I am lost for words.
Senseless and horrific.
They commit. Everything they do is about psychological warfare. So when you go and you ask, did they do this on purpose? It's hard to imagine that they didn't. It's hard to imagine that somebody would do this to do what they did, but this is what they do. And psychological warfare is the game that they play every day. So
Yeah, to such an extent. By the way, do you know that they locked the coffins? Originally, they locked the coffins that needed to be opened with a key. I guess they should have been suspicious at that point.
There's no doubt in my mind that it was done deliberately. It was done on purpose. And as you mentioned, this is a grotesque violation of the first stage of the agreement. However, Baila, it's not, and Soya, it is not the first time they have violated the agreement, nor is it the last time they will violate any further agreements if there are any further agreements.
Can you imagine the word agreement even? Agreement usually you make with the person, it comes from like agreeable. You're making it with a sane person, that the two meetings of the mind. Could you imagine making meeting of the mind with a barbarian, with a person who commits monstrous acts? It's like making a deal with Hannibal Lecter.
And who are you going to sit down and make agreements with?
I'm going to put you in next to a live body. Please don't eat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, How do you make a deal with someone who committed such atrocities and then expect them to keep to the deal? So there really isn't, and the not the funny, the insane part that keeps on being more and more insane is that this is not the first time. And think about it. I mean, even let alone today. I mean, we're not up to this part, but think about it. Somebody, and we know that it was probably Hamas, because in Tel Aviv, somebody planted 5 bombs.
Oh, yeah. That's
separate, five separate pieces of transportation.
Right.
Three of them